Good morning. What's up, guys? How we doing? Hope we're all having a good one here so far. Let's get to work, baby. We've got some work to do. ATR is at 27. You are currently looking at a 2-minute chart. And I would say that right now we're in a soft bull channel, right? Since about 9:15. Obviously, we have a big intraday bear trend off the open. But now, soft bull channel. Let's see if this turns back into a bear trend. Honestly, I don't care what it does, but if it were up to me, if we could turn this baby back into a tight bear trend intraday, and we're not in a trend market, don't get me wrong, but that would be a beautiful thing. But either way, we'll find some trades, find some scalps, throw them on, and hopefully have a good time doing it. What's up, guys? Good morning. How we doing? Bruce, good morning. Brandon, how we doing? Good to see you guys. All right, we're a minute 10 out here from the close of this 2-minute. We're kind of in the high end of what I would call, again, this soft bull channel. So let's see. Zachary, Romeo, good morning, guys. How we doing? All right, 38 seconds here. ATR 26. Jimmy. After so many months of struggles, I'm going to get a nice payout from Take Profit Trader today. Needed to share and celebrate with you. Fucking good work, Jimmy. Go get that shit, brother. Good job. All right, here we go. Copy trader engaged. See if we can get a nice bear close. And we will, so I got to put a limit buy out. No fill. All right, 10 seconds. Hold up. See if we get a fill. If we don't get one in 10 seconds, I got to pull it. No fill. Got to pull it. All right, next bar here, minute 41. Vonnie Joe, good to see you, big dog. All right. So, I mean, you guys, based on that attempt at a trade that we did not get a fill on, I mean, you guys know what I'm looking at here, right? This kind of wedge. Now, obviously, the concern here is that this starts to flatten out and then it curls and then takes out this low. If that happens, can anybody guess? Can anybody guess what I'm doing? Anybody? Nobody knows, huh? Dollar bill, not stop hunting. Well, you're wrong, because I would be stop hunting. All right, let's see what this bar closes up. Big old doji, huh? Kind of a tiny little bull body. All right, nothing there. Next bar here. This wedge is going to tighten up. And then break. 20 EMA on the 5 is at 542. So we're up here on the 20 EMA. Yeah, I mean, listen, if it's up to me, I kind of would like to see this thing break downside. That offers a lot more headroom for us for setups. And I think it's also a slightly higher probability that it does break downside here. So let's see. Northwest past Some tests here this morning. Now you got 5 Take Profit Trader Pros, fundeds. Oh, man. Having 5 at Take Profit, that's a hell of an asset, I gotta tell you. All right, there's a rollover on the 5-minute chart. Again, we're watching the 2-minute here. All right, let's clean this up. I mean, we know that that's there. I mean, the problem here is, again, do not get caught up in the line. You're going to miss the point. We could still draw it like that. I mean, there's a million ways you could draw this. So here comes the rollover. I can't do anything on that bar. I need one more. Need a little more information. So we are minute 53 out. Let's see what we get. 1-minute chart's looking a little jumbled. Yeah. $56 seconds here until this closes up. If we do get a nice, by the way, clean, low close here out of the bears. Yeah, I'm gonna have to punch it short. ATR 26. All right, let's get ready here just in case. Copy trader is engaged. Again, ready to rock here. 11 seconds out. If the bears close this up nice and low near the low of the bar, I'm going to have to use this stop limit sell. Good close. I'll place that. Right there. Tick or two beneath that bar. We'll give that about 10 more seconds-ish. See if we can get a fill. If the bears cannot take out that wick low, guess what? I do not want to participate. Let's see here. ATR 25. No fill. Got to pull it. Got to pull it. Next bar here. Minute 35 out. Well, Vin, good to see you here today. I mean, listen, guys. In the early days, if you feel like you need to trade by yourself, please do. Seriously. We'll miss you, but please do. But, like, I'm just going to be straight up. Like, I traded by myself for a long time. And it's not great. Luckily, I have my now wife who been along the whole journey to, you know, go out and talk to during the day. But I mean, listen, guys, even like top performers at prop shops, they're not trading by themselves. They're on headsets talking to each other all day. Sitting in a quiet room, doing nothing, with no sound other than trading might sound like you're a hard ass, you're a trader, you're a purist. It just kind of fucking sucks. I've done it. It's just not that fun. Even if you're an introvert, it's just not great. It just gets old really quick. And honestly, it almost is one of those things where it's like you have such little, I don't want to say stimulation because that sounds like it's a distraction, but you have such little going on except staring at candlesticks. It's like a weird experience if you do it too long. I don't know, man. Again, even the top performing guys, a lot of them, they're talking to somebody, whether it's coworkers, at a prop shop, in person. Or something like this. But in a room by yourself, I don't know. For 6 hours a day. All right, let's see here. All right, bears are trying to take out that low, and they will attempt to do so. So we're 60 seconds out here. They already kind of hit the low. So I gotta tell you, that stop hunting mentality. I mean, what the fuck? We talked about this 10 minutes ago, 12 minutes ago. And that did not really see a push through. It didn't give us a setup, which is fine, but it didn't really work too well either. So now I start to think, you know, obviously, do we form a double bottom? Or does this just get another attempt, catch some more stops who were, you know, more than 2 ticks beneath that level, and then go? Either way, I can no longer participate in the stop hunting. Okay, now that we've kind of cleared those stops, low a day right here. Right now we can keep an eye on this bear body here on the 2-minute chart. We're 67 seconds out here from the close. And if the bears close it up nice and low, I'm going to use a stop limit sell, try to get short within the first like 20, 25, 30 seconds of that bar. If they can. All right, copy trader engaged. I want to see how this bar closes up. Big ol' inside close. Next bar, 2 minutes. All right, next idea here. I do have a bull thesis. Not a bull thesis, but I have a bull case. If the bulls close this higher above the previous bar's wick high, then I'm looking to get long with a stop limit buy. All depends how this bar closes up. And it also has to be within reason, right? ATR just below 25, 24.7. So my look right now is the wick high and low of this single previous bar. Any outside close is a little more decisive than it was. Let's see here, 49 seconds. All right, 16 seconds, copy trader ready to rock. Let's see here. I will get a stop limit buy out. Volatility's up a little bit, man. Those stop limit buys go out a little too close. Place that. And we will get a fill. And I will suck that right there. Suck that up. And see if the bulls can continue back into that range just a bit. ATR 24. Just risking the signal bar here? Could I risk the curl? Sure. Sure, the signal bar is enough though, here on this trade. Just put it where you think it makes sense, man. Bears, bears! All right, ATR 25 here. See if those bears take out that little low. There's not really going to be many stops down here, because it's such a new level here. But we'll see if they clip us. Thought they got us for a second. What the hell just happened? We got the rollover. There it is. All right, next trade here, move on. Minute 45 out here. Let's see what we get on this bar. You can see, I mean, yeah, that is basically to the tick, respecting the low at 420. That's all right. We'll see if that takes out that low. Minute 26 left here on this bar. This is actually going to be a dual rollover coming up here between the 2-minute and the 5-minute. We're a minute 12 out. I'm going to stay on the 2-minute, but worth mentioning, the 5-minute here is 4 consecutive bear bodies if this holds for the next 60 seconds. Here, let me give you a quick look here. That's what the 5-minute looks like right now. But we are going to stay on the 2. right, 90 seconds out here. Minute 23. Yeah, you see the Bears did take out that wick low. Okay. So risking the signal bar was the right call. Look for trade number 2 here. Minute 6 out. Let's see if we get some kind of entry here. The one concern is that, hey, does this kind of thing start to happen? That's pretty damn tight. I mean, that's 30 points. With an ATR at 25, I don't know, man. That's pretty tight. All right, big inside close there. I gotta wait until next bar here. 2 minutes. Here, look at the 5 minute here. You see this shrinking bear bodies now. Big doji close. Bull's trying to take this up into the first bull close of the sequence, really. About 20, 25 minutes. First bull body here. So on the 5 minute, in 2.5 minutes, I'd be looking to see if they can close it above 453. Again, since volatility is what it is, HR 24 here on the 2 minute, I am going to stick to the 2 minute. See how that closes up. Oh, man. All right, tiny little bull body on that 2 minute bar. You guys see this? You see this, right? Now let me switch to a 1 minute chart. See that? Sometimes, you know, when you have different time frames pulled up, like a 5 minute, this doesn't even really show. You know what I mean? On a 1 minute, it's incredibly obvious. But we know that that's there. Again, this flat bottom I'm looking at, it's short-lived. Are there a lot of stops down there? Hasn't had a lot of time to accumulate stops. So not really. All right, 10 seconds out here. Let's see if we get some kind of last second adjustment. Nope, a lot of insecurities there out of the bulls. All right, next bar, 2 minutes. By the way, if you haven't heard, I think you're living under a rock, man. Apex has a monster of a deal right now. It's 90% off, plus 1 day to pass. You don't have to, but you can if you'd like. Code BIG, baby, B-I-G. I stocked up last night just to make sure I had them while the sale is on. I might hit some more today, man. I don't know. Oh, you see these really, really shrinking, kind of wicky top bull bodies? It starts to kind of, not concern me, but it starts to make me kind of think, you know, are we eventually just going to see this roll over and turn this into a big trading range? Not big, it's actually pretty damn small, 40 points. But something to think about here. All right, but let's see what we get here in terms of a close out of the bulls. Good close, got to place that. See if we can get a push up through out of the bulls. Give that about 10 more seconds here. See if we can get a fill. And we will. We'll get a fill. Suck this up a tad. Okay, ATR 22. There you go, bulls. Keep that pushing. There you go, bulls. Take it up through. See if we get a test up toward 480. Not that it's a meaningful level, but ATR is 22.5, so looking. There we go. Half an ATR, pull that, move on. Got a flatten here. All right, we're flat. Move on, next trade. Gotta place that for probably 10 seconds at the absolute most. See if we get a fill. Because that right there is about a 10-second setup. I'd call that maybe a B- setup. Still worth putting on. Gotta pull it. Why is it B-? Full body's a little smaller. Bit of a wick up top. So I just give it less time. The quicker the follow through on a lower quality setup, well, I don't want to say lower quality, a lower grade setup, right? The better. But if it's like an A setup, I'll give it 30 seconds. That setup gets about 10. Hey, Roy, how we doing? Christian, good to see you, brother. How we doing? All right, the bear's stepping in. That 1 minute bar is looking kind of sizable. That 1 minute bar pretty much has this whole wick since the open of it. Here, let me show you what a 1 minute chart looks like right now. A second bear body closing near the low within reason will put me short, by the way, using a stop limit sell. Now, by the way, with these middle of the range kind of continuation trades, we've taken, I think both of them have been that today. They work well because volatility's higher. Now, when I say they work well, I don't mean necessarily that they're always going to work. Obviously, that's not the case. What I mean is it works well to use stop limits for your entries because you have room to do so. If you can place it a tick or 2 or 3 above or below the signal bar, you know, you're not looking for 4 points. You're looking for 8, 10, 15 points. So you have a little bit more room, and the channels are wider typically. You know, they're instead of 15 points, they're usually 30, 40 point wide channels, 50 point wide channels. So you can kind of get away with it inside of the range a little more, and if I can get away with it, I'd prefer to use stop limit entries because it forces the market to be at least going in your direction when you get a fill, which for scalping is obviously a good thing. But when we can't use it, we use limit orders. Now, you see how tight this is? This happens a lot. Does this turn into just a kind of a tight sideways trading range? And then from there, do we just curl over and continue? Because I got to tell you, this whole... Well, this morning intraday bear trend has now kind of, if we look at it this way, I mean, maybe we should zoom out. Right? I mean, we should look at it every way. But maybe we should think about this too. Like, what about this kind of thing? Maybe pull that down a little bit. I mean, right? Maybe. So we'll keep that in the back of our head. We'll keep all of it in the back of our head. 50 seconds out here on this 2 minute bar. Very tight little range right now. Rufio, how we doing? Good to see you. All right, big old inside close here. All right, well, this isn't a sideways shredding ridge. I think it's my opportunity. I drank about 3 liters of water before hopping on, so give me a minute or two. I'll be right back. Welcome back. Just as maybe we're attempting a little breakout? Who knows, man, but I'm interested because we're a minute 18 out. I'm a little concerned with this kind of deal. As volatility starts to fade, you know, you see one of two scenarios. And this is, by the way, this is part of like the trading thing. And I'm still, every day, trying to log new looks on the market, obviously. You never stop. Tangent. That's why I like trading. You can do a million different things, but, for example, athletics, whatever it may be, you know, at least improving and at a high level for most people, you're kind of done by 45. You know, it's time to maybe slow it down a little. You still train hard, whatever, but you know, no one's at the height of their ability in the league at 62. But with trading, like, you can genuinely continue to get better if you would like until your 70s, maybe 80s, which is a cool thing. Like, it's a lifetime venture, right? But anyway, the more you look at charts, the more you start to kind of log like, oh yeah, I've seen this before. And in this kind of scenario, if volatility starts to increase, you can just break higher and take out that little high you can see kind of in the middle of your screen, right? This high. Or if volatility continues to slow, you oftentimes end up fading into this expanding wedge and it just hangs out here for a while. And then which way does it break? In that case, probably 50-50. All right. 35 seconds out here. All right, if the bears do close, by the way, beneath like 480, I'll let you get short with a stop limit sell. If the bulls hang out here, then there's nothing I can do. But, I mean, let's get ready, just in case. I'll get the copy trader ready to rock. And see here. Yeah, I'll get it ready for a last second adjustment, just in case. Nothing there. All right, cancel that next bar. Easy, too funny. This is killing off ATR. Okay, 16, I don't want to complain. 16 is a wonderful ATR on the 2-minute chart. Great, love it. But we were at 27. What, I mean 45 minutes ago? So, okay, here, let's see if the bears can give us a half decent close. You know, honestly, just reclaiming this last bar still would be kind of a small bear body, but okay, I like that, bears. Keep that within reason. 30 seconds out here. I will get the copy trader engaged. All right, hold it there. I do not want to see that grow anymore. A close beneath 75 would have me hold off on that. Let's see here. Stop limit sell ready. Yeah, I'll place it. I'll give it 10 seconds. That's a B- setup. Nothing there. Pull it. All right, 30 seconds out here. Yeah, I mean, listen, if the bears could take this lower and close it near the low of this bar, okay, they're getting closer. I had written them off, but let's get the copy trader ready. 12 seconds, see if they can close near the low of this little channel. Punch it long. And there we go. We got a fill. And yeah, I mean, honestly, this gets a little weird in terms of managing risk. I'm going to put it right there. And see if we can backfill that little channel. ATR 17. Just bet against that little breakout there. is what I'm doing. Manage bar by bar. All right, now, bulls. Come on now, bulls. Step in front of that. We'll see if the bears end up filling. Remember we talked about that bigger range if we go back and we drew it? Right, I mean, basically top here, bottom here. Right now I'm betting against the break out of this little wedge. Volatility's coming in. If it expands here in 35 seconds, if we do get a nice clean bear close. Pretty much here or lower. We'll call it like 58 or lower if the bears can close it down there in 25 seconds here. Then I'll manage early just for a small little loser. But still, right now I'm going to leave that on. See if we can get a backfill back up into that little wedge. All right, inside close. Got to give it the next bar here. Let's see. Small little bear close, though. I got to say, I like that out of the bulls. There you go, bulls. Take it back up into the wedge. ATR 16.5. 'Alright, now if the bears can give us a close here, about a minute out from now, beneath 57-ish, that would be my manual management trigger. Otherwise, we have the protective stop down here below this wick bar here. 47 seconds. Twenty seconds out here. All right, finger on the trigger, bear close. Again, beneath, we'll call it 57.50-ish is kind of that wick. Let's see here. Yeah, we'll cut that. Actually got good fills there, that's fine. All right, next trade here, minute 55 out. Let's clean this up. Let's see how this develops. You know, honestly, when we're scalping, when the market gives me an opportunity to manage it early, I'm actually very happy about that. Kind of every strategy is going to kind of have its kind of least optimal scenario. For me, that least optimal scenario happens when we see grinds. Because what you end up getting is you end up getting a lot of wicks, and then you get inside closes, and it doesn't really give me an opposing decision. And I can't cut it manually, so then it grinds its way all the way to my protective stop. That's when you end up with the, or I guess just dumps, but like those happen in your favor as well, like news. Those grinds are the least optimal scenario, but I really don't think there's a way to, you know, fix that. There's not a way around that. It's going to happen with every kind of strategy you run. That was not that though. That was actually very good as far as management. A little early. Oh, now the bulls step in, of course. Good bear. I'm sorry, good bull bar. Decent close there out of the bulls. Yeah, you know, the ads, actually, there, I just changed the setting. YouTube throws ads on everything, whether the creator earns anything or not. I do, but it's so, it's tiny compared to the other stuff. So I just changed it. So you guys should actually get less ads now. There's no way for me to just take ads away, because even if I turn everything off, YouTube will still run it just to make the money for themselves. But I'll run the most conservative option they offer. Yeah, you guys should get quite a few less now. All right, minute 18 out. Joe, profit targets hit. Now switching to the new evals with code BIG, baby. All right, Joe. Get them funded. Niles, what's up, brother? Appreciate you. I'll be here every day, my man. No worries about that. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Seems like a little channel to me now, huh? These last 4 or 5 2-minute bars. Okay. Okay, so what I start to think about now is this kind of thing. Okay, that channel is about 20 points wide. So we know that that's there. I'm going to pull that away. Massive, could you see it squeezing back up to the open? Honestly, Massive, man, I don't care if it squeezes back to the open. I don't care if it drops to 23,000. We just want it to move in either a clean range or an intraday trend. Could it happen? Of course it could happen. Of course it could. But with ATR down to 16.5 and this thing ranging the way it is, you know, this is not a question of can it happen, it's a question of probability. But, you know, it's a long trading day, and the afternoon can happen quick if you look away for an hour and a half. You know, all of a sudden you come back, everything's different. That's right, bar by bar. All right. Well, I mean, that's a clean bear close. Let's give this one more bar here. If the bulls can attempt to reverse this, I'd like to fade them. So we're a minute 40 out. Let's see what the bulls can do. Why are you comfortable taking a short so close to low a day just to learn your logic? I'm just trading price action. And, you know, with ATR of 16, my scalps don't need to be that big. You know, so, you know, low a day here is 35, 40 points away. That's a long ways. That's 2+ ATR. And plus, when I'm trading price action, a lot of times it'll have me buying the high a day, selling the low a day. It's real. Price action is just raw. It's just, hey, what's the market, kind of agreeing on? Okay, hang on. Let me get this ready. Small little bear body. Pull that next bar here. What's the market kind of agreeing on? And what does that call for me to do? That's it. That's it. I don't mind selling at low a day. I don't mind buying at high of day. It's all the things that people are scared of, because most people have that contrarian thinking. You think, oh, it's a bull trend. I should probably get short. This thing's going to roll over. All right, but if that's how most people think in the beginning, what's a really common mistake that most people make in the beginning? Trying really hard to fight the trend, averaging into the trend, and then the trend keeps trending and you blow up. It's really common, right? I think everyone's done it. So I think if you're a scalp trader, or if you want to be a scalp trader, here's the easy rule of thumb. Take that shit bar by bar. Take it bar by bar. Look at lows of days, not as the low of the day, but look at it as, hey, if it's been there a while, there's probably some stops down there. If I get a price action setup heading into it, that's some free liquidity if we can, break through those and take those out. Same with the high of day. That's how I like to do it, at least. But do whatever you want. All right, 17 seconds out. I'm going to get the copy trader ready. If the bulls can put in a half-decent close here. Well, that could change things. Hold up. A few seconds out. They're both going to lose. Big old doji close. About as insecure as you can get out of both sides. All right, next bar here. Minute 50 out. There you go. There's a little punch through. All right, now low a day here is currently sitting at about 415. So I'm keeping an eye on that. If we're a little high yet to start looking at a stop hunting mentality. But honestly, it might call for, we'll see. It might call for a higher reward to risk setup. See if we can take out some stops, but we'll see here. We're pretty far away from that yet. Hey, can we use this scalping on gold? You can use it on whatever has enough liquidity. Yep. I would not use it on crypto or Forex just because manipulation, fees, liquidity in crypto could be an issue. Broker manipulation in Forex is an issue. Yeah, any quality trading product, it doesn't matter. Now, with individual stocks that are news driven, like an in-play stock, for example, that's moving based on momentum and news rather than regular price action, you can use the same ideas, consecutive bull bodies closing near the high, but it's not one-to-one. It's not apples to apples. All right, big old wick there on that 2 minute. We'll go next bar here. 2 minutes out. All right, bulls trying to step in here. Man, look at the Bears just wicking this bar back. It's pretty impressive, honestly, out of them. Honestly, I'm going to take a tiny little shot. I'm going to take a small little shot. And I'm going to take it bar by bar. There you go. That was just a really, really defeating kind of loss on that last bar for the Bulls. They took it up 20 points and got shot down instantly. So let's see if the Bulls can kind of step back. That's my only idea here. If the Bulls can step back and kind of let the Bears do their thing. ATR 15. Because when you look at that, you think, I don't know, man. It seems like that might kill some confidence in the Bulls. That might offset the balance here a little bit. So I'll take it bar by bar, minute 10 out. Let's give it one more shot out of here. Low a day down to 415. Comes the rollover. Okay. Inside bar, kind of a wiki bull body. ATR 15. Beautiful. Ooh. Leave that limit order out for just a second here. Pull that back for now. I want to stay exposed to this bigger move if we can get it. You guys see that? 9 3/4. I saw 9 3/4 flash. I don't know about you guys. I saw that flash for a split second. Bulls bought that back up. And we did not get a fill. Son of a bitch. That was a good little push there. It's exactly what I wanted too. See if the Bears can take another run at it here. There you go, Bears. There's 9.5 points. That's what we wanted. Beautiful. All right. Next trade here. That was trade number 4 on the day. Keep it pushing. $60 seconds left. Let's see what we can get here. All right, 10 seconds out. Let's see what we get. We go wick back out of the bulls. Nothing there. Next bar here. Low at day, still down at 415, of course. ABB, yes sir. I'd like to go hunting. I would like to go on a little hunting trip. If the bears will let us. Yeah, Brian, you wish you could pull this shit off, big dog. Minute 23 out. Bo, in that instance, do not just place that limit order. The limit order there is you might get a huge spike down. No, I'm taking better than half an ATR. You mean for profit taking, Bo? No, I'm gonna take half an ATR. All right, 10 seconds out. Big old bull body. Single little big bull bodies like this, or bodies in general, gotta hold off. Gonna need at least 2. Hey, Dusty. Welcome, my man. Yes. Yes, this is a 2-minute chart. Oh, Bo. So Bo says, yeah, just asking if you're looking for the half ATR, why not just have the limit order to buy back rated half an ATR? Is it just in case we get a massive spike down? You have your defined risk. So you might as well take a big win if you can. Yeah, exactly, Bo. So I've said this a lot. I leave my protective stop out. And especially in more of a range market, I'm typically trading negative reward to risk, at least a little bit. So, and that's for me. If you don't like that, fucking go do whatever you want to do. For me, I think that makes logical sense in a range market, not so much in a trend market. But in a range market, it makes logical and mathematical sense to me. So what I do is I leave my take profit, my like protective take profit order out even further, because when you get like black swan news, right? It's not really black swan because it happens every day because we're trading on a smaller scale, right? We're not like big swing traders, at least not here. But I leave that out. So I'm exposed to both. I have my protective stop out, and I put my take profit, my protective limit order out a little further, usually, than my protective stop. Even if I'm scalping negative reward risk, looking for half to 3/4 to whole in ATR, which again, for those of you guys who are new, ATR is this red number down here. That's the average range in points of a 2-minute bar based on the last 10 2-minute bars. That way, when you get those big news bars, I'm equally, if not better, exposed to the profit-taking side, which is going to be about 50-50, because it's not like the profit take is 125 points away. It'll often get hit when we get news, the same as my stop. And the news is going to be 50-50, whichever direction it goes, over a big sample size of trades, a long period of time. Appreciate you hanging out, Dusty. All right, 55 seconds out here. You guys see we have a shrinking bull body. And now kind of a doji. So let's see here. Let's see if we get something interesting. Yeah, Joe, that I think that was Wednesday. Exactly, that's a perfect example. There was a trade on Wednesday, if you guys want to go back and watch. It should be in a video on the channel, actually. I had that same thing happen. It wasn't huge. I got like 15 points. But yeah, we had kind of a news bar hit. Worked in my favor that day. All right, hold up now. We got 3 seconds out. This is a big bear body. ATR 15. That bear body is going to be 23, 24 points. So we'll wait for one more bar here, minute 50 out. Pat, how do you recover from a big losing day? 2 things. You keep doing what you were doing. Well, assuming you think you have an edge or have data that gives you reason to believe you have an edge. You stick to the plan. That's it. Or if you're really emotional, you either take a day off, which I'm not a huge fan of just, every time I lose, I take days off, because I think you're just scared to trade at that point, which is a problem in and of itself. But realistically, sizing down is never a bad thing. If you feel like you want to or need to, or maybe you come back and you're like, oh, volatility is really high, man. I don't know. I think I should maybe size down, do that. I know that, like, for example, in small cap momentum stocks, if someone typically trades 10, 20,000 shares, they might come back after a big red day and be like, I'm seeing things wrong. This market's cold, but I want to stay in the hot seat. I'm going to come back and trade 5,000 shares or 2,500 shares. And that makes sense. Yeah, you grind your way back, but listen, guys, there's something to be said about confidence in your trading. If you come in and you feel like shit and you're like, I'm the worst person who's ever done this, you're not going to perform well. Which is why the plan is so crucial, because it gives you that confidence even if you lose. Otherwise, where the hell are you supposed to make it up out of nowhere when you've just lost 4 trades in a row? Not so easy to do. I mean, we are human, right? All right, 20 seconds out here from the close. This is a big bull body. Big bull body. Let's see what we get. Gonna need one more bar, man. All that did was take us right back to the open of the previous bar. Damn near exactly. Within a couple of ticks. Hey, Philip. Appreciate you hanging out. Good to have you. All right, well. Hold up now. This might be worth a tiny little stab. And when I say tiny, I mean tiny. I'm going to take a short stab. And we're going to suck this risk up very tight. And see if this channel plays out. ATR 15. See this shrinking bull body? Wicking back, inside close. If the bulls can take out this wick high, I just want to stop. I'm actually going to suck that in one tick to 60.50. I just want to stop and move on. That'll be a really, really small loser compared to the normal trade. But I want to see if the bears can kind of respect this a little more. See that with that flat. Can't draw it right over my stop, but you get the idea. All right, we'll lose there. That's fine. We'll move on. All right, minute 16 out here. That's trade number 5. Sometimes it's worth taking a little stab. You get really good reward or risk with a pretty decent probability. Now, the probability will go down if the risk is tighter, of course. But it can still make mathematical sense. All right, now, by the way, we do have the 20 EMA on the 5, right at 40. I'm sorry, 470. It's right there. So we are coming in, man, for a test. All right, guys, I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere. Be back soon. right, welcome back here. We are 38 seconds out, and we might have a trade number 6 on our hands here. Let's see what we get. And I will get the copy trader engaged. Need to see a close above that wick back there, right where my cursor's at. We can get a close above 478. All of a sudden, I'm using that. Let's see if we get it. We will not. No trade. Next bar here, minute 56. Down 700 a day, rough week, just lost hope. Come on, man, if you're losing hope after one bad week, then you're just not built for this. You say, fuck you, bro, I am built for it. All right, do it. Do it. That's the response I want. Don't lose hope after 1 week, man. Come on, this is one of the greatest playing fields on the planet. Of course it's gonna be hard. You want to make a lot of money? Sometimes you're going to lose a lot of money. Isn't that kind of the goal? I mean, if we're just being real, if you expect to make millions of dollars and your biggest loss is $8, go play the lottery. All right, 15 seconds out. Big old wick back here out of the bulls. It's a big wick, huh? All right, it's gonna be a big wicky close. Next bar here. Gaines, welcome back, brother. How we doing? All right, ATR down to 13.5. We're kind of hovering right around the 20 EMA on the 5. That is currently sitting right around 470. This is the 2-minute chart that you're looking at, but we pay attention to the 20 EMA on the 5 just because it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So we'll keep an eye on that here. All right, next bar here. We'll go minute 53 out. See what we get as far as close. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's tough to make sense of something right here, right around 470. Again, that is the 20 on the 5-minute chart. Right now, we got to see, you know, is this going to be the first time breaking above that 20 EMA on the 5-minute and holding all day? It's been rejected twice. But this is also the longest period of time we've spent around that as volatility comes in here. Midday. So we need a little bit more information here, a little bit more decisive nature out of these moves. Minute 35 out. Let's see how this bar closes up. We're never more than 1 bar away from a trade, man, which is the nice thing about the 2-minute. Kind of keeps you locked in. His big old inside close there out of the bear's tiny, essentially a doji, but tiny little bear body. All right, this little sideways garbage, we got to see this. We're probably, I mean, listen, around here, you guys know when I say probably, that means like 55 to 60%. I would expect we're probably going to break downside. And when we do, we'll see if we can get a nice little stop limit sell setup going. And take it bar by bar. $26.5 done, meaning, okay, so he got to the payout threshold essentially. 1 trade away for consistency. But you lost the account, is what you're saying. I mean, listen, this is like one of those things. This is kind of a fallacy. Do you know how many times it's going to happen to you when you're trading prop? You're going to be like, pretty much, this account's good for a payout, and you keep trading, and all of a sudden you hit that inevitable statistical little losing streak, and all of a sudden the account is in drawdown, or you blow it. Just like how a lot of trades are going to get really close to your stop, turn around, hit take profit, get really close to take profit, turn around, stop you out. You're going to have a lot of accounts that do what just happened to you. You're also going to have a lot of accounts that, you know, get very close to blowing, turn around, and get payouts. That's called a fallacy. Or a gambler's fallacy, in a way. Let's move on, man. A lot of accounts. So where my cursor is right now, 415, that's still the low of day. So You see that? Realistically, we're probably in a big collapsing wedge. Probably. It's about 40 points wide as it sits right now, maybe 35 points wide. All right, sitting right in kind of the 50% point of this little wedge here. For me, I kind of got to wait until we see something in the top or lower third. Right in the middle here, around here, we call that algo and degenerate territory. I got to hold off. The top end of this wedge, by the way, is pretty much the 20 EMA on the 5. Give or take. Well, within 5 points. The 20 EMA on the 5 is right at about 470. So, you know, if we do get a nice, reasonable bull close here, I'll look to see if we can fade that using a limit sell. Okay, bulls, within reason now. Hold up. All right. 25 seconds out. I will get my copy trader engaged. And yes, that's a strong bull body. But I can use this wick high. Yeah, I think I'll use that one to manage my risk, keep it reasonably tight. ATR 14. It's less than an ATR of risk. And it is a range market right now. So we'll see if we can kind of fade that here. All right, and I'll punch that short, and we'll get a fill. Suck that risk up. There we go. HR 13, just see if the bears can take this right back into the wedge. Bulls keeping an eye on this little wick high. All right, now bears, fade that baby right back in. Fade it right back into the wedge. HR 13.5. This volatility. What in the world? ATR falling down to 12.3. There you go, Bears. Right back into the range. "45 seconds left here on this 2-minute bar. Volatility down since entering. See here comes the close. Barely inside of that wick. No management decision there for me. Alright, there we go, Bears. A little deeper here. About 30 seconds left here on this 2-minute bar. And still, I'm just betting against this breaking out. In a range market. For me, that's what makes mathematical sense. Let's see if the Bears can get that done here on this one. HR 12.6, it's holding up. We're just kind of hanging out right around this 20 EMA on the 5. But you're looking at a 2-minute right now. We're trading off the 2-minute. Just keep an eye on that 5-minute. Bulls, you little sons of guns. They think they're breaking this baby out. 60 seconds out. I'm going to close this 2-minute bar. Let's actually clean this up. I don't want to confuse anybody. We know that that's wedge. That wedge, that's what I'm looking at. Yeah, just a general range. It's never an exact line or level. ATR down to 12.2. Keeping an eye on this here. And ATR has fallen. We're down to 11.2. Bar rolls over, it drops a full point. It's all right. ATR is fine to me, you know, as long as we're above. Below 10, things start to get a little trickier. Above 10, I'm happy. Below 10, above 8, we can still work with that. You start getting an ATR of like 6.75. Yeah, it's time to walk away at that point. Small bull body. Not a bad close out of the bulls. You know, straight up. But, can you guys still see that? No, you cannot. This wick here is where my stop's right above. At this point, risk is pretty much offloaded to the computer. And all we can do is sit and hope volatility stays up. 11.24 on the ATR down at the bottom, that red number. And I do not want to see that dip below like, well, I don't want to see it dip below 8, but below 10, things start to look a little bit different. Oh, I guess I gotta start thinking about this kind of look. It's still wide, though, and we're still in the top region of it. So, I mean, really, there's no adjustment that I need to make. We'll just manage risk using the computer, the server side stop. And we're not going to over mess with things. I do think that's a big mistake. There are times, I think, when it makes sense, based on the probability, to adjust. Like when you guys see me cut things a little early on a bar that would, in this case, if I'm sitting short, on a bar that would put me long, that's a buy decision. And a buy decision when I'm short, you buy it back, it puts me flat, right? Whereas if I were flat, it would put me long. But, you know, in this case, there's just nothing to do. All right, let's see if the bulls take out that wick. And they will. All right, next trade here. "38 seconds out here from the close of this 2-minute bar. All right, 65 seconds left here on this 2-minute. ATR 11.16. I mean, this is just so tight. Man, look at that Toji. It's just brutal. ATR down to 10.5. I think we should run a poll. You guys ready? All right, I want to hear your guys' thoughts heading into the long holiday weekend. But we've been seeing volatility pit back up in the afternoon lately. At least more often than not. What do you guys think? There's a bigger bear body, huh? The votes just flipped. We were 50-50, now we're 70, damn near 75 and a quarter. After that bigger bear body. We have a triple rollover here coming, of course, as always, the 1 minute, the 2 minute, and the 5. Here in 3 seconds. There it is. All 3 charts rolling over. Oh, you know, the 5 minute 20 EMA is right here, where my cursor is. We've just been within 15, maybe 20 points of that thing for 45 minutes. Yeah, at least 40. HR is at least holding above 10. That's a good thing. That's a very positive thing. I don't really want to see that red number bottom of your screen get much lower than 10. At least here on the 2 minute chart. Two-second delay. Yeah, you're in Europe too, aren't you? That's crazy. That's crazy. I think we have the delay here, especially for you guys in the States, man. I think we have the delay here down to about the quickest on YouTube, baby. I think we can get that done. I think it is done. Well, at least something's fast today. At least the stream is fast today because this market, ATR is 11 here on a 2 minute chart. Honestly, I think it'll pick up a little bit here when we just get stuck around the EMA. I don't remember if you guys, what was it? You know what it was? I think it was 20,000, wasn't it? You guys remember like 3, 4, 5 months ago on stream here? We were hovering around 20,000, or maybe it was like 21,000 or something. It was a tier 1 or maybe S tier level, and we would get stuck to it every day within 25 points. Every day for like 2 weeks. I'll take this over that. At least the ATR is above 10. All right, minute 15 out here from the close of this 2-minute bar. Yo, Big, got a question on stop loss, take profit. I usually scalp ES. Cool. With NQ being much more volatile, how do you typically set your stop loss? So trading price action, I'm typically setting it based on the price action itself. So I'm using a wick high or wick low and then going a point above or below that. It'll oftentimes be the signal bar itself. In more of a range, I'm just using the obvious wick high, wick low, going a point above or below. And then you size yourself accordingly. Don't set your stop loss based on, well, if you're swing trading versus scalping, your stop is going to be different. Like, for example, if you were getting long for a swing trade here, you could set your stop way the hell down here. And that would make sense if you were swing trading. But for scalping, you might set it down here, right? So that's clarification number one. Now, number two, don't set your stop based on your size. Set your size based on your stop to match the risk that you need in whatever account you're trading. Like, you know, when ATR is up, if ATR is like 38, 43, it's kind of hard to trade price action using a full mini in a 50K Apex account. It's just, it's hard, you know? You lose 2 or 3 trades in a row and the account just took a massive hit. So you got to size accordingly. And it's always kind of a sliding scale. Like, you're always kind of trying to figure that out. Just what I like to do is I just run numbers all the time, multiple times a week. And based on the volatility, and then I kind of go with that for the next day. Trying to scale up over time, of course, by using just more accounts. Now, if ATR just completely collapses during the day, am I one to go in and switch over to minis? And honestly, it's kind of a pain in the fucking ass. Because when you're running a lot of accounts, it's kind of a pain, and I don't want to make mistakes where all of a sudden I'm accidentally trading 6 minis in a 50K account when I meant to be trading 6 micros or whatever. So, you know, just run your numbers, figure out what you're comfortable with, figure out what your business model is, how aggressive do you want to be in your business model for prop trading. What's your budget? You know, as far as expenses, at least to bootstrap yourself, and then what's your goal? If your goal is to make a lot of money prop trading, you're probably going to have to be a little more aggressive, which means your expenses are probably going to be a little bit higher. If your goal is to make more of a steady income, but maybe take payouts a little less frequently, then you're probably going to be a little less aggressive. Expenses are a little lower. If you're bootstrapping yourself, you're probably going to be a little less aggressive because expenses are going to be lower. You know, just do the math. All right, big wicks on those last couple bars. HR sitting right above 10, 10.04. All right, let's see if the bears can take this low and close this out nice and low. ATR 10.7. Yeah, and I'm going to punch that to the long side. And just see if these bulls, I'll keep wrist tight, like 10 points, actually 9 points. See if the bulls can take this back up higher. Oh, bears. Falling through. All right, that's quick. That's quick. About that. Man, these losers today are so damn small. His ATR is so low. Then you get those little volatility punches. All right, let's give this a second, see if volatility can come back in here. ATR below 11. Yeah, that's a big outsized bar. That's the first 20-point plus bar. Well, about 20 points. Let's see if it grows here. Still has a lot of time left. In pretty much a half hour. Did we just get news? I don't see anything coming through yet. I mean, that was the 1 o'clock Eastern time bar, but the 1 p.m. Eastern time bar, typically you don't see a lot of algos trigger. Maybe noon for the Chicago firms. Yeah, oftentimes you just see that rollover like nothing happened, really. All right, here comes the rollover of this bar. Let's see here. That's going to be a very outsized bar. Very tough to manage risk on an entry on that bar. That's a 25-point bar and an 11 ATR, 26 points on that bar. Well, those of you guys who voted yes in the poll, when I started the poll, ATR was at what? Maybe 10.8, 11, something like that? So you guys might be on the right side here. Let's... Well, maybe not. There we go. I think you guys might be right. This is good. Let's see here. Let's see here. Low of day, still sitting at 415. This is not the low of day. Low of day is back a little ways. Right there, about 415. Yeah, you know, this is kind of tough because here. I mean, we're 10 seconds out. We're coming right into a quad bottom. And with ATR at 12, that bar being 24 points, that's tough to manage risk right into a quad bottom. I can't take it. I can't take it. We'll have to go next bar. And of course, what was I thinking of taking? Well, getting short on the push through here, right? But this is the fourth test. Well, I guess a triple bottom. This is the fourth test. If it holds, it'll turn into a quad bottom. Got within about 4 or 5 points of that low a day. I mean, you see that bull stepping in. I think they have some confidence down there, right around that 420 region. All right, 17 seconds out here from the close of this 2 minute. By the way, of course, the 1 minute as always and the 5 minute are also rolling over here in 5 seconds. And they all look pretty damn similar. All right, guys, hey, quick break. I'll be back in a few minutes. Go nowhere. All right, welcome back. What's up, guys? We are 30 seconds out from the close here of this 2-minute bar. I gotta tell you, I'm keeping an eye on it. We'll see if the Bears can close this up in a reasonable manner. 20 seconds. Yeah, sizable wick. We'll go next bar, 2 minutes. All right, here comes the rollover. Big wick, inside close. You guys see that? In the last 4 minutes, we ended up in the exact same spot. Bear bar open, bull bar close. HR 14.7, though, it is up, which is very good news. We got down to what? What was it? 10.06 at one point? 10.04, something like that. So that volatility is coming on back. All right, 6 seconds out here. Yeah, wiki inside close there out of the bulls. We'll go next bar, minute 55 out. All right, 30 seconds here. Now, something to start to think about is, do we end up seeing a sideways trading range? That is something to consider. Okay, let's see if the bears can close it. I'd like to see them close it down as close to like 420 as possible here. And I would punch that long with a limit. Yeah, we're not going to get that. So we'll go next bar. And I would have set my stop beneath this bigger bull body, which would be a great structure. But we didn't get a low enough close, so we'll go next bar here. Minute 45. All right, nice big push. You're out of the bulls. Now that 20 EMA on the 5-minute chart is sitting at 452, so I'll put my cursor where that's at. That's right about there on the 5-minute chart. That's the 20 exponential moving average, which, do I give a shit about it? No, but the market does because enough people watch it on the 5-minute chart that it becomes what? A self-fulfilling prophecy. So we got to keep an eye on it. All right, we're 38 seconds out. "17 seconds, I will get the copy trader ready to rock." Yeah, let's see here, ATR 15. I'll put on a limit buy right there. Give that about 10 seconds, see if we can get a fill. And we will get a fill. I'm going to suck this risk. I'm going to use that bar, and we'll take it bar by bar. ATR 14. All right, bulls, take it right back up into that little trading range. There you go, bulls. Keep it pushing. Just fade those bears right back into the range. ATR about 14.5. Small bull body. Decent little close there out of the bulls. Not the greatest. There you go. Let's see if we can get a fill on that limit. And we will. It's a little better than a half an ATR. We'll take that and move on. Next trade. Volatility starting to slow a little bit again here. Down from about 15 down to 13.5 on the ATR. All right, this is a good question. A lot of people have this question. How does Apex 1 day to pass work? If you buy today, do you need to pass today, or can you buy today and trade only next week? No, you can buy today and you can pass. Listen, it rebills. Okay, the evals when you buy today, they're 90% off when you use code BIG, okay? If you don't pass them within a month, they rebill, but they rebill at 80% off. Now, full transparency, there's too much opportunity cost. I'm not taking over a month to pass evals. I typically try to pass them in a day or maybe two. And I usually dedicate a little bit of time in the afternoon, just try to get 1 or 2 or 3 pass at a time. And that's just how I do it. Do it however you want. But no, what that means is you can pass as quickly as you'd like. You can technically pass in 1 second if you caught some huge volatility move. Now, I don't encourage that. I just say that to clarify. You can pass the eval as quickly as you want. There's no time constraint at all whatsoever. There's no trade constraint at all whatsoever. But you can take as long as you'd like. Okay, just know that it rebills after a full month at 80%, even though you do get 90% off when you buy it today using code BIG. Now, if you pass it in 1 day and then you're in a funded account, obviously the eval does not rebill. Okay, so that's even more reason to try to pass it inside of a month. Just to clarify, it's you can do this if you'd like 1 day to pass. It's not you have to do this at all, not at all. All right, there's the roll over there. Yeah, I mean, 3 consecutive bull bodies. They are a little bit growing, but we're coming right into that kind of look. So I got to hold off. If I was going to do anything there, I'd short it. but I have to hold off because, you know, you have this look, but you also have this look potentially, right? There's just too much going on there. Too many looks. All right, guys, hey, make sure you use code BIG. It's 90% off and 1 day to pass. Again, you don't have to in 1 day at Apex. And don't forget, Take Profit Trader. I think the best firm if you're trying to bootstrap going full time because they offer daily payouts right to your bank account. Take Profit Trader is 40% off, and you don't have to pay an activation fee when you do pass if you use code BIG when you buy the test account over at Take Profit Trader. All right, guys. Hey, have a great long weekend. I will see you all on Tuesday morning, bright and early. Like the stream, and come Tuesday, you'll open YouTube, and it'll be right there for you. It makes your life super convenient, and I'm big on convenience. All right, guys. Have a great long weekend. See you soon.